Oh gosh, I just dropped my questions. Hey guys, and welcome to another video. I recently asked you guys on my Instagram to send me in your questions about veganism, or your concerns, your skepticisms, problems, issues, anything you wanted to about veganism, and I would try and answer them. So this video is going to be one of two videos that I want to make from that post on Instagram, because I had a lot of questions in and I thought that it would be quite useful if I divided it up into one video where I answer all the personal questions about my experience and my journey, and then another video where I save all the very scientific and more factual based questions about things like where do you get your protein from, B12, it's unnatural, the food chain, the circle of life, kind of debunking all those myths about veganism. This video is the more personal vegan Q&A. I'm gonna put a disclaimer out at the start of this video and say that I am not sitting here trying to be disrespectful, trying to be rude, trying to come across as a pushy vegan. I don't want to be any of those things. All I want to do is to educate you guys, to motivate and inspire you, and help you guys if you want to embark on a vegan journey, you know? Yes, I do respect your personal choice, but veganism is a lifestyle for me. It's something that will be with me my whole life. If I can respect you guys, I hope you guys can respect me, so it's a two-way thing here. Squarespace is sponsoring this video again. My website is now currently live. I'm going to be talking more about it at the end, walk you through a bit of my website. Right, okay. Question number one is, at what age did you turn vegan and why? I went vegan when I was 18 years old. I turned vegan overnight, so I went vegan on the 24th of June in 2016. First and foremost, I kind of had health on my mind when I was transitioning to veganism, but more importantly, I am vegan now because of, yes, health, but more importantly and on top of that, because of ethical reasons, moral reasons, and for environmental reasons. I don't believe that I can sit here and call myself someone who loves animals when I can cause their pain, their suffering, and ultimately their death. Even if meat and animal products were completely healthy, I wouldn't still eat animals. I should also just say that I was actually vegetarian before I went vegan solely for health reasons, but I wasn't even vegetarian with any sort of sound knowledge of why I was doing so. Before you went vegan, what's the one thing that you used to love to eat but now you can't because you're vegan? I honestly loved milk for my whole life. I had grown up drinking milk, yes, in the morning. I would drink milk every day before I went to bed, and I remember seeing a video entitled something like why milk is unhealthy or the truth about milk. I remember sitting there and being like, what? I did not even watch this video because I was not ready to accept the fact that something I loved so much was unhealthy, and I didn't want to give it up. You've got to remember though that vegans don't go vegan because they suddenly don't like something anymore. That is not the case. Vegans go vegan most of the time for ethics, moral and environmental reasons and health reasons. That is why we have vegan substitutes and things that taste like meat, so like fake meats, fake cheeses, stuff like this, because it helps people transition, and ultimately it means that vegans don't have to give up the flavors that they used to enjoy. But yeah, now milk, I could not drink milk. Have you noticed any weight changes since becoming vegan? Okay, so personally, I actually experienced weight gain when I went vegan. Not immediately, and it hasn't been a sudden weight gain. The truth of the matter is I needed to gain weight in order to become physically healthy again. I don't restrict my food anymore. I don't count my calories anymore. I don't do any of that. I've changed my mindset, and yes, it's taken time, but I have gained weight and I've become so much healthier physically and mentally. Whatever diet I chose to follow throughout my kind of recovery period, the main aim of that was to gain weight ultimately. So it is possible to gain weight even on a whole foods plant-based vegan diet, because I have done it. Yes, it is a progress, it's a journey, it's not going to happen overnight, but I have gained weight and I'm continuing now to build strength. Like, I am happy that I've gained weight. I am so much happy with my body now. I love my body now. I'm so grateful for that. Have you ever had family members disagree with you being vegan? If so, how did you get around it? So this happened to myself and my sister, who were vegan at the time, at a family Christmas meal. We were just kind of being mocked for kind of just, oh, eating the salad leaves. I mean, that's all the vegans can eat, you know. The food would be being passed around. It was like, oh no, sorry, you can't eat that because you're vegan. It can be frustrating and it can make you feel embarrassed and feel awkward. if you let it get to you, then those family members or those friends will try again and they will keep mocking you. You just need to have sound reasoning, answers at the ready, so that you can allow people to understand your lifestyle choices and really just kind of leave you alone and let you do your own thing. A question similar to this was, how do you personally deal with any hate speech being made against vegans, or have you ever been targeted? I am probably going to get people on this video commenting down below maybe some hate speech or some just silly remarks or trying to argue with me about what I've said in this video. With doing it online, people just don't really think a lot of the time, and it's very easy for people to just sit behind a screen and type something quite nasty sometimes about vegans or about anything. Hate speech is everywhere. I mean, vegans, we often get labeled as extremists, but ultimately I encourage you guys, if you're vegan yourself and you've experienced that, you've just really got to not respond with any hate yourself. Always talk about veganism and your lifestyle choices in a positive way. Like I said, just educate yourself, have answers ready so that you can respond. Quick question, how many people in your family are vegan? 3 out of the 5 members of my family are vegan. All the girls in the house are vegan, so myself, my sister and my mum. And then my dad and my brother are not vegan. I'm totally fine with that because it's their personal choice. I can't force it upon them to be vegan. But I mean, we have seen progress in our house. Like, we now don't have any cow's milk in the house. We now don't have any processed cheese. They eat a lot less meat and dairy and eggs in general. Okay, this question was quite top in the comments on my post. So this is a very common thing that a lot of young people experience, you know, teenagers. When you've become old enough to do your own research, it is really difficult and it's not something that you can fix like that. My advice would be, try your best to get them to watch documentaries. Things like Cowspiracy, Forks Over Knives, Earthlings, Land of Hope and Glory. There are so many documentaries out there. Even if you just show them a few clips from those documentaries, or show them YouTube videos, if they prefer reading, try and get them to read some articles, some actual scientific papers, if you can get hold of them. If you're old enough and you can cook and your parents let you, then try and go shopping with them, buy some food and say, look, I'm going to cook you a vegan meal. There are so many recipes that you can try now. Maybe go to a restaurant and try a vegan option or something like that. But I mean, ultimately it is going to take time, but then you have to kind of consider that when you're telling your parents that you want to go vegan, you're telling them that what they were feeding you in the past was maybe wrong, and you're kind of indirectly criticizing that. So it can be really hard for them to take as well, and you've got to remember that your parents are only there to love you and look out for you, so it can be hard on both sides, but you will get there eventually, trust me. Do you consider being vegan since you were little, or considered it later in life? By the way, can you say hi, Etta? Hi, Etta. I had actually considered veganism, I think earlier in the year in 2016, maybe a bit before that, but my sole reason for not actually going vegan and saying, oh, I'll try maybe being a vegan when I'm a bit older, when I'm independent and I have enough money. Key point here, I have enough money. I was under the impression that veganism was expensive. That is a complete myth. Eating vegan, eating plant-based, whole foods, plant-based specifically, it is the cheapest diet on this planet. I don't need to sit here and tell you the price of potatoes, bananas, legumes per kilogram. You can go to the shops and you can see for yourself. Rice, potatoes, pasta, bananas, vegetables, wherever you go in the world. Some fruits, yes, might be very expensive because they've had to be imported and stuff like this. Animal-based products, whether that be meat, eggs, cheese, it's always going to be more expensive per kilogram. But likewise with any diet, it can be as expensive or as cheap as you want it to be. You can go and buy all the vegan substitutes, and those are the foods that are pricier, more expensive, because the demand at the moment isn't there. You know, these things work on a supply and demand basis. Your vegan steaks are going to be a lot more expensive than your actual steaks. The more people that turn vegan and the more people that buy these foods, then the price is going to go down. Did you always love with the banana emojis? I actually didn't eat a lot of bananas at all before I went vegan. I didn't really enjoy them that much. I always used to eat them when they were super green as well. I didn't really know the difference between a ripe and an unripe banana. However, when I went vegan, it was like a revelation. I don't know, I was like, wow, this tastes so good. Why haven't I been eating bananas? Since then I was like, bananas are life. Are you allergic to any foods, vegan or non-vegan? I don't have any known allergies. How many calories do you usually consume? I don't count calories. I said that at the beginning. I used to count calories, yes. So I will do a video about calories and counting calories, why I don't anymore, how I got over that. When I first went vegan, I did, however, use chronometer, which I can highly recommend, to kind of track my nutrient macro and micro intake every day, and I saw that I was hitting my targets all the time. You know, protein, vitamins, minerals, I was hitting that every day. Yeah, I'm also going to shove in here the abstract from the Dietetics Association, Nutrition Association, their report. A vegan diet is nutritionally adequate, it is healthy for anyone of any age, whether you're breastfeeding, whether you're pregnant, it is a healthy diet. When I was recovering, in order to gain weight, as I said, I needed to eat a lot of calories, and I still do now. I probably eat in excess of 2,000 calories, and that's totally fine. I'm a very active person, and having gone vegan, I feel so much more energized. A lot of people will say that when they go vegan. Yes, it's true that plant-based foods are not as calorically dense. You've got to just remember that if people were so weak and so unenergized on a vegan diet, then you wouldn't see vegan athletes. There are so many vegan athletes nowadays. Like, one example is like the Williams sisters. They thrive as tennis players, and they still do now. There are people out there running marathons, ultra marathons, Ironman, things like this, and yet they thrive on a plant-based diet. So always keep that in mind. Would you feed your children meat? I answered this in my personal Q&A, but I thought I'd throw it in again here because it's very applicable to this vegan Q&A. I would 100% raise children vegan. The child cannot choose what they want to eat, so as an adult you have to make that decision for them. So I'm not gonna just feed them meat or like cow's milk, because that is not in line with my ethics and my moral values. If you could go back in time, would you like to be vegan born and then eat vegan your whole life? I would say yes, it would be amazing to say that I've been vegan my whole life, but I don't like to live with regrets, and I don't think I'd be able to sit here and empathize with you guys. I wouldn't be able to sit here and say, look, I was once in your position. Okay, I'm drying up here, but I want to answer as many questions as possible. What would you say are the essential foods in your diet to get you started? I really want to do a video about how you can go vegan, like a vegan kind of starter guide sort of thing. To give you a bit of info now, I'm not saying that going vegan is easy, not at all, but you've just got to think about what you kind of eat on a day-to-day basis, and I guarantee you that you can veganize it very, very easily. For breakfast, okay, most people have cereal. A lot of cereals are vegan, but you just swap the milk for plant-based milk, almond milk or something. You can have porridge, or you can have like toast with some peanut butter and jam and some banana on top. And then lunch, you can have a sandwich, but instead of filling it with, say, cheese or like ham or something, you can make a bean salad and put it in, put some hummus in, a falafel wrap, make a salad, make a pasta salad. The possibilities are endless here, people. What do most people have for dinner? If you're having a curry, you can have a veggie curry with rice. You can make some wedges, some chips with avocado, vegan sushi, vegan mac and cheese. I have a video about how I made mac and cheese on my channel. It's so good. It's super easy when you just kind of think about things, and yeah, it might take a bit of planning, but trust me, it will be so worth it. I'm a very fussy eater. How do I find things that I will eat? Okay, I want to answer this in conjunction with another question. So do I ever worry that veganism is a method of restriction? I would describe, okay, you're gonna think I'm really strange, but I would describe my diet going from something like this to something like this, and then to this now that I'm vegan. Okay, it's like this kind of shape. You see what I'm trying to make here? You're probably thinking, what the hell is she doing? Okay, anyway, I'm gonna explain this to you. So I believe that when I was kind of growing up as a teenager, when I ate meat and stuff like that, even when I was vegetarian, I was quite fussy, you know? I was quite stuck in my ways. I'd eat the same kind of meals every day. I wasn't keen at all to try things. I mean, my mum would shove a courgette on my plate and I'd be like, ew, that's like an ugly cucumber. But then, yes, I went through this period, like, when I really restricted what I ate. But now, I mean, my diet has grown so much and diversified so much. If we think about that balanced diet food plate thing that they teach you about in school, it can seem at the outset that veganism is restrictive. No, you can't eat meat. No, you can't eat dairy. You can't eat a lot of things that have animal derivatives in it. They put animal products in so many things you don't even realize. So when you're going around the supermarket and you're just like, oh, I can't eat that, I can't eat this, can't eat that. Yeah. It's restrictive. You can't eat anything but lettuce leaves. As a vegan, you know, what do I eat? But I'm going to debunk that straight away. Okay, so firstly, I want you to kind of change your mindset. Don't think about all the things that you can't eat. Think about all the things that you can now eat. Think about all the plant foods there are on this planet. I have diversified my diet so much. I've tried so many more foods. I've tried new recipes. When I used to go to a restaurant, I always used to order like spaghetti pomodoro or something like that. Now, I try a new option every time. I flippin' love plant food, you know? I do not see it as restriction at all. I now love mushrooms, love avocados, love olives, love so many things that I never would have tried before. I don't cut out meat or dairy and animal products just because I want to restrict my diet. No, definitely not, 100% not. What are your opinions on zoos? I don't think I would ever go to a zoo again unless it was one that I'd researched and I knew that was just solely conserving animals, saving endangered animals, and then releasing them back into the wild. I really don't believe that zoos these days and those in like the UK have those intentions at all. I believe that they're just trying to make money. They claim to be educational, but I really don't think that's the case. I think children just go there for entertainment. They're not releasing animals back into the wild after they've bred them to a population that's going to be sustainable. They're not doing that. And you just got to think about the animal in that zoo, in that cage. They don't know why they're there. You can't tell them why they're in that cage and why they're just being stared at all day. So they have this confusion, this anxiety, this stress. And when you think about, say, London sea life, again, I don't support that. I don't want to support that. It's unfair when a dolphin or a whale should be free swimming in the ocean. Would you say that going vegan has made you a happier person? I cannot put this into words, but 100% yes. And I honestly love it. But that is basically my Q&A. I've answered a lot of questions. Stay tuned for the more factual and scientific vegan Q&A. I also just need to say, welcome to hollygabrielle.com. I created this website, yes, with the help of Squarespace. I'm so grateful for having been able to work with them over these past 2 months. The template that I've chosen, because there are just so many on Squarespace, I found one that's very minimalistic and that's the vibe I'm going for. With so many templates on Squarespace, you can find one that works perfectly for you and it's a starting point for any project. It's totally customizable. The thing that I will be updating most on my website is the recipes pages, so I'm going to show you those. I'm going to have the recipes on there that I mentioned in my videos, on my Instagram. At the moment I've got a few on there. There will be a lot more coming soon. Some of the recipe pages, like my baked oatmeal or my pancakes, they have a video that you can watch alongside if you want to like make it with me. I really hope it's useful and I really hope you like the website. There's a lot coming soon. There's a lot that will be updated. But yeah, and also the Nana page. Nana is coming soon, guys. So click the button to get notified. Follow me on Instagram, that's where all the sneak previews are gonna be. And with 24-hour customer support, I really do highly recommend Squarespace. So it's totally free to start a free trial whenever you want. When you want to upgrade, you can get 10% off your first purchase by going to squarespace.com/hollyg. I hope this video overall has been enjoyable to watch, informative. Thank you for sending in your questions on Instagram, and I apologise if it's on the longer side, but I hope it has been useful. Give it a like if you enjoyed it. Tell me in the comments the recipes you want to see next on my website, stuff like that. Tell me if you're excited for Nana. Tell me if you've notified yourself. Click that button yet to get notified about Nana. And if you're new around here, subscribe as well.